Definitions of beauty affect everybody in one way or another. White women have eating disorders more often than other ethnicities, and Chinese women have historically had to adhere to the standard of small feet by using foot binding. However, I'm looking specifically at how hegemonically defined white standards of beauty impact African American girls and women because of the deep-rooted discriminatory history America has in regards to the African American population. According to Michelle Wallace, the black woman had not failed to be aware of America's standard of beauty, nor the fact that she was not included in it. Television and motion pictures had made this information very available to her. She watched as America expanded its ideal to include Irish, Italian, Jewish, even Oriental and Indian women. America had room among its beauty contestants for a buxom Mae West, the bug eyes of Bette Davis, masculinity of Joan Crawford, but the black woman was only allowed entry if her hair was straight, her skin light, and her features European. In other words, if she was as nearly indistinguishable from a white woman as possible. White standards of beauty have been around for quite a while. Light-skinned slaves and dark-skinned slaves were treated differently. At times, even the light-skinned slaves talked down to the dark-skinned slaves and had more authority. The lighter you were back then, the more likely you were to work as a house slave. House slaves generally had wavy or straight hair and European facial features. If you were a dark-skinned slave with kinky hair and broader facial features, you were more likely to be a field slave. The differences in how the differently toned slaves were treated created what is called the Lily Complex. The Lily Complex is defined as altering, disguising, and covering up your physical self in order to assimilate and to be accepted as attractive. Slaves would escape plantations by passing as a white person. Not looking black meant freedom. Images of white women dominate the media. This is a phenomenon called whitewashing. Whitewashing happens when the media excludes anyone who isn't white from their advertisements, TV shows, movies, among other things. In the United States, 1/3 of the population is black, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, or Latina. This makes the underrepresentation of women of color in our media even more disturbing. Even when women of color, black women in particular, are in the media, they are portrayed negatively. In movies and TV shows, black women often take on the role of the chunky best friend and the hired help, among other stereotypes. When black women only see negative depictions of their race in the media, they are undoubtedly affected by it negatively. Many forms of media influence us, but advertisements in particular subtly perpetuate societal beliefs and expectations concerning race and gender. Vanessa Hazel and Joanne Clark did a content analysis on black-oriented magazines, such as Jet or Essence. They compared advertisements in magazines from 2003 to 2004. They found that black people are portrayed both positively and negatively. However, there is still a theme of white supremacy amongst the images. They concluded that it is not enough to just add more positive advertisements to these magazines. All advertisements with negative portrayals of black people have to be eliminated. The researchers in this study claim that the images in the media directly reflect the values of the advertisers, who are usually white men. Because of this, people who are not white or male tend to be portrayed negatively and stereotypically. The researchers claim that because the images influence the way we view others in our society, the dominant ideology of white supremacy maintains power of white males over females and other races in our society. There are several ways that women are depicted in the media, which include being physically beautiful, submissive, and as sexual objects. This differs from how men are typically portrayed in the media as dominant, strong, and sexually appealing. Research has shown that white standards of beauty impact a girl's quality of life. Meeting or not meeting society's standards of beauty affects a girl's success in school, both academically and socially. However, there is a way to combat society's pressures to look a certain way. Research shows that support from peers and teachers can impact young girls' image of themselves. The positive relationships she has with her teachers and peers can positively impact her self-confidence and self-esteem.